Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's episode we're going to try and get some heat in the seat on the Range Rover L322. So I've been driving around in the Range Rover now for about 3 weeks and it's been really good. Obviously we've had a couple of blips, we did have a couple of issues which you might have seen or you may not have seen, I don't know if I've posted them yet, but essentially the Range Rover has been an absolute joy to drive, it really has. And as I've sort of lived with it more and more, I wanted to fix little tiny things that have been bugging me, you know, across the vehicle. And one of the major things that was really bugging me was the heated seat. Now, I kind of knew that it was potentially an easy repair, but until you dive into these things, you just don't know. You don't know who's driven it before, what the condition is, etc. There's so many variables, but fingers crossed I had a chance of fixing it for no real expense. Now, the actual heater element in these seats is a little bit different to a regular heated seat, whereas you don't get the pads that heat up the elements. You actually get hot air blown, because these are vented seats, they'll blow cold or warm air into your back and into your backside. So, you know, it's a nice system to have working. Now, again, the passenger seat was all good, and I think that's just basically because it hasn't had a lot of use. And that's really what got me thinking, maybe it's something physical that's broken on the seat rather than an issue with a control module or whatever. So the idea is we're going to strip the back of the seat to have a look and see if the heater element unit is damaged, and fingers crossed we can get it fixed. Now, on this inside clip here, there is actually a bolt that you need a T15 Torx to remove. It's quite a long bolt, so it takes a while. But then when you've got that off, you can just prise those outer sort of trim casing pieces off. This is the other side, and if I open this up, you can just see that disc. Now, if you manipulate this plastic piece outwards, it should pop over. That circle did have a stud through it, so I've just pushed this outwards, and it's popped off it, so now that's free, you can see there. And let's make sure it's free at the back here, and then it's a case of pushing this down. I've unclipped also the leather from underneath the chair. It's just two little clips that go on the bars, you can see them hanging down there, and it comes undone. Just wriggle that panel out from that side clip there. So you can see in here, there is the spigot that sticks out, the bar, and there it is there, and that literally just goes over that into that hole. So it's all plastic, it's fairly simple. So now we're gonna have to look into what's going on here. Well, that didn't take much looking at. Look, there we go, completely broken, and that is the reason we're not working. Now, I'm sure we can fix that. I don't really want to buy another one. I'll put a link below to a new unit, but I think we can get at that. So to actually get the unit out, obviously unplug it, and you don't have to clip off these zip ties, but it just made it a little bit easier, and I wasn't going to be putting extra pressure on the loom. So just to undo those little zip ties there, just to give me a bit of movement, and then moving down, just removing those trim pieces off that bar. And then we want to be sort of getting behind the plastic cover, but to do that you've got to remove this little clip. There's a little push clip that goes through the shroud that covers the fan itself, and then that's free. Just let that dangle away, and you should just be able to remove there's 3 Torx, T25 Torx, remove those, and then literally that is your unit free. So once you've got them all out, you can just give it a little wriggle and it should come out. Just be careful you don't catch any wires or plastic pieces when you're doing this, because it is a fragile piece. But yeah, there's no pressure on it, so it should just lift out fairly easily. And there what you see is the actual fan unit itself with a filter on the front. That wasn't actually that dirty on ours, so just give it a little blow and there's not really any dust coming through. And then this is how I actually put things together. So this was Araldite. I did try with super glue, but I basically put Araldite on it. And then I used even more of this window seal to try and make sure we can get an airtight seal on there. So you can see that's all encapsulated. There's a couple of bits in here that didn't quite take. So what I'm actually going to do now is just run some insulation tape around it as well, and then some fabric tape just to make sure it's super enclosed, and then hopefully we'll see if that's going to do the job. So what I'm going to try and do is actually bend this up so it's not a sharp, jagged edge, sharp edge going to the plastic. I don't think it'll affect the integrity of the frame too much. So just going to use some grips. Just really want to get the edge. So just in here is where I've bent this edge up, and you can see originally it was curled over and facing in towards the plastic. So I've straightened it, and then I've put a foam strip across the top. So that now should not impact on the plastic. So let's see about getting the unit back in and see how much room it gives us. Right, there's our unit. And it is definitely fatter than it was, but I think we're going to be okay because we've given ourselves that extra room there. So we slide this back in gently. So at the top here, where it joins the seat, it clips in here, and it should clip in here, but mine's broken. So I'm going to run a zip tie over this bar here onto the unit to hold it nice and tight. And I might do one on the other side as well, just to make sure it doesn't come off. Yep. Clip goes back in there to hold the vent on, and then this just should finish everything off. There we go. It feels to me solid, like it's stable. I guess the thing to do now is to see if it works. So let's get it switched on. The fan's kicked in. The fan has kicked in. There's a lot of dust coming out of this. That could do with a... Oh, hang on. That is warmish. I think it's definitely pushing air through. So I think it's fixed. What a result. Well, now we've got it working, I'm going to go for a quick run. I've got the heating on full just to see how effective it really is. How long it's going to last, it's difficult to tell. So as you can see, when I was dusting the seat by just giving it a slap, there was quite a lot of movement there, and so I think that is a really sensitive part of the seat. Hopefully our repair is durable enough to last, but yep, I can feel the warmth now. I've literally just got in the car and started it up, so that's nice that I've got some heated seat action once again. So the Range Rover really isn't disappointing. It's been such a joy to drive. I mean, I've really enjoyed the Discovery 3, and I think part of that was actually, you know, getting to grips with the things that were wrong with it and fixing it, because that really was a neglected vehicle. This, on the other hand, I don't think this has been neglected. I think genuinely it's been looked after by someone, but it's just got to the point where the expense of doing the repairs, the little niggles were just getting too much for whoever had it. What with the EGR coking up, going into limp mode, then you've got the heated seat doesn't work, then you've got the heater, the climate control's not working, or the TV unit's not working. They probably just thought, do you know what, it's just time to cut our losses. But their loss is our gain, or certainly my gain, and I really think we've got a bargain here. Now, we have fixed a lot of things on this vehicle over the past couple of weeks, but you know what, it's not really taken that much effort, and I'm pleased to say it's not even be that expensive. I had a little scare with the water pump, as you might have seen on the shorts there. We did a little video where I broke down the other day because it popped a hose, but that turned out just to be a popped hose and not a water pump. And even if it had been a water pump, you know what? £35 for a new water pump is nothing for a Range Rover. I mean, it just goes to show that there are products out there now, aftermarket products, that makes ownership more realistic on these vehicles. But I do have one more little bugbear that I need to fix inside the Range Rover, and that is the electric mirrors. So electric mirrors, you can't adjust them from inside the vehicle. It's completely non-responsive, and you can't fold them in, and that should be something you can do. I haven't been able to test to see if the heated mirrors work yet, but I have got a laser thermometer so I could check that out. But I'd like to get that fixed, and I think it's going to be the switchgear on the door here. So I'm probably going to invest in buying a second-hand unit off eBay, just plug it in, see what happens, and if it goes, fantastic. If not, we'll do some further investigation. And also, I have just today finished the installation of the audio system. So again, I can't tell you how bloody brilliant that installation is. I hope you don't mind me swearing just a little bit there, but I've been really, really pleased with the results. It's such a factory looking bit of kit. The sound is brilliant. But that's about it from me today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next one.